Alright, time to continue with the new top tier platoon. Last time I was driving the CV. This vehicle is very fun, I love it. Probably one of my favorite top tier vehicles in tier 9. Today I'll be driving the Strf 9040B. This thing looks fun already. Has a 14mm autocannon. It is just about as fast as the CV, but slower acceleration. It's a little bit slower in acceleration, but the speed is overall the same. 3 crew members, reload 0.2 seconds, average penetration 142mm. And of course, the armor does seem to be a little bit better armor than the CV, but it has no armor. So yeah, obviously don't try to tank shells with the STRF since it can't bounce. I mean, maybe, it depends. No armor is best armor. Gaijin will have moments where it will allow you to bounce shells with this thing, that's for sure. However, the main thing on this vehicle is that 14mm Doom autocannon. I love the main gun on this thing. No, this does have some new shells though. Has the proximity high explosive shells, which are good for anti-aircraft. Haven't really used that much, but this is, I think, the first vehicle that has received those shells, and they're good. Definitely going to make anti-air much easier. However, I'm using the APFSDS shells on this thing. 14mm mini darts. We all know that top tier vehicles have literally like no armor, so you already know that this little beast is going to be pure evil. I think this is the highest caliber autocannon that we have received so far. I really like how the main gun of this thing works. And I also like how the vehicle looks in general. It does look like a main battle tank, but with a small gun. And it has a lot of shells though. Doesn't have as many shells as some of the other. Well, this is technically a SPAA. Well, it is definitely a IFV, that's for sure. But this IFV feels more like a main battle tank than it feels like a SPAA or a IFV because of the main gun. And obviously it is also a autoloader. It does have a very fast reload. I also tried to use those proximity shells against ground vehicles, and honestly I didn't really notice the proximity shells to do much on the ground vehicles. I mean, technically I kind of expected the mechanic to work the same way as it would work against aircraft, but I honestly did not see that being the case. I noticed the high explosive proximity shells to literally impact. They did not detonate upon being close, but they were impacting the tanks, the ground targets. So maybe we can use the proximity field only against air targets. I guess that might be the case. But I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter since you get 14mm darts, and it is just absolute fun to spam those darts. They cut through armor like a hot knife through butter, and that's not all. You can just spam that at the enemy tank. Yeah, it's a nasty little vehicle, that's for sure. And if you were thinking about getting this to be gold, if you want to gold this platoon, right away I can tell you go for it, since this tank is just fun. If you enjoy spamming 40mm APFSDS darts all over the place, if you like to play these vehicles that have APFSDS ammo option and basically they are top tier and you can cut through enemy armor, yeah, definitely worth it, for sure. And the fact that I'm actually able to play this like a tank, I think that's my favorite thing about it. That the fact that I can just play it like a normal tank. That it doesn't feel like ASP AA. It does feel like I'm playing the Leopard, but Leopard with a 40mm autocannon. That's how this little tank feels. And honestly, I would say that's a pretty good thing. Since the Leopard is one of my all-time favorites in the whole game. Very few vehicles come close to the Leopard A1A1, very few vehicles come close to the IT1 or the Raketniak Panzer. These three vehicles are like my all-time favorite. There's probably other vehicles that I can use the same way, but that was a good battle. 5 destroyed vehicles with this thing, using it as a sniper. Sniping machine gun, I don't know. It is funny though. Yeah, this thing is just pure fun. Okay, let's go to the next battle. Now, how can you play this vehicle? Well, I mean, you saw one example. It's shockingly, or not shockingly, works really good as a main battle tank. Does work really well in that aspect. Doesn't seem, I mean, it is definitely a tank or a IFV that should be used in a more active way. It's excellent for flanking. However, you don't really have to flank since you can penetrate from the front like everything in top tier. Very few vehicles can bounce. You can bounce very few vehicles, but you will be able to go through most armors without a problem. Very easy to penetrate top tier vehicles with the APFSDR shells. Doesn't matter what caliber, even like the 40mm ones will go through the armor like no big deal. And it is able to penetrate even the turret of that Centurion, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, Centurion. No, it's not Centaur, it's Centurion. And we did get a new variant of the STRV 103, STRV 105, which I may play, but the main spotlight is definitely on this vehicle, and the main spotlight is definitely on the CV. The STRF and the CV are definitely my favorite vehicles of this platoon. They're just ridiculously fun to use. Especially this thing. I love the autocannon. It is really good when it comes to tank combat, and you do have some very good ammo that you can use against aircraft. So it does tick all the necessary boxes in my book. Okay, let me go a little bit forward and let's see. I mean, I have a feeling like we are not going to win this battle. I just have that feeling. Oh well. I mean, if you want to win, luck is a very important factor, so yeah. And there's 2 vehicles in the base. Obviously, I'm not going to go directly on them since that would be a pretty dumb thing to do, but they fired and yeah, it's able to cut through the armor on that thing, so yeah, there we go. From the front. That thing got torn to shreds by the 40mm autocannon. Well, there are some vehicles. There's at least 2 tanks right around that building. If I can manage to shoot first, it will be good. Does kind of feel like the Mars. Oh, there's one. There's one behind me. And they're looking at me. Of course they are. why wouldn't they be looking at? Man, AZSU-37. There we go. That was a very dumb move from me, but had to do it. What's AZSU doing in top tier? I have absolutely no idea. But I can go back. The gun depression on this vehicle is also really solid. You can technically take advantage of some hold down positions, but I think the gun depression is not as good as on the CV, but it's definitely there, so you can take advantage of that. And the turret is very small target, very fast as well, so definitely usable for hold down moments. And now let me go and see what we have in the base. I'm just waiting to... Oh, there they are. Oh, it is a CV. Well, there we go. Burned through the side armor. Absolutely torn to shreds. Let me capture the base. I got stuck on a magic wall there. I love it. Base captured. And we have at least 2 tanks in the spawn. That means I have to take the revenge bomber, and let me see if I can do something about those tanks in the base. I love how when I take the revenge bomber, there is literally no support anywhere to be found. Right? No one bothers to support when I take the revenge bomber, but the enemy team, they always have 3 fighters helping the revenge bomber, but my team never really bothered to help. Kinda sad. And when I take the fighter, I get the Messerschmitt, which is useless against the more modern jet aircraft. Okay, that was a AMX, got destroyed by the machine gun. And we have one Oliphant right over there. Yeah, they're behind. Yeah, I'm not able to... Yeah, they're completely behind that. Well, let's see what the Oliphant is doing in the base there. Yeah, we are definitely going to lose the match, but luck is something I don't have, so I don't really anticipate a victory, since if you don't have luck, you can't really win. And Oliphant burned. Oh my god, that was satisfying. Through the lower plate. This little beast is just pure evil. This vehicle is just awesome, to say the least. And well, yeah, we're about to lose the match, but that was still a very fun battle, nonetheless. Well, with that being said, that was it for the Strf. Honestly, a very good vehicle. I love it. It is honestly ridiculously fun to use it, and I'll definitely be driving it a lot more. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.